Welcome to a journey through our solar system like no other. Buckle up, space cadets, because this isn't your typical sightseeing tour. Today, we explore the deadly environments of each planet and how they would end human life in the most extreme ways imaginable. Forget relaxing beaches and alien safaris, we're talking scorching heat, bone-crushing pressure, atmospheres that would make you choke just by looking at them, the whole cosmic horror show. From scorching heat to crushing pressure, let's dive into the science of death on other worlds. First stop, Mercury, the closest planet to our sun. Now you might think that being close to the sun means a nice, even tan. Think again. Mercury is a study in extremes. During the day, the surface temperature can reach a sweltering 800 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt lead, and, well, You'd be cooked faster than a Thanksgiving turkey, your spacesuit no match for this inferno. But wait, it gets worse. Nighttime on Mercury doesn't offer any relief. Temperatures plummet to a chilling minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a swing of over 1,000 degrees. You'd go from crispy fried to flash frozen faster than you can say interplanetary temperature regulation. And if the heat or the cold doesn't get you, the lack of atmosphere certainly will. No air to breathe means a quick and silent demise from asphyxiation. Trust me, on Mercury, death is not a question of if, but how quickly. Not exactly a top vacation destination. Now, let's take a break from all this cosmic doom and gloom and revisit our home sweet home, Earth. Compared to the hellscapes we've just explored, Earth is a paradise. Our atmosphere is a delicate balance of nitrogen, oxygen, and other gases, perfect for us to breathe. The temperature is just right, with liquid water flowing freely on the surface. It's almost like Earth was designed for life, which, it was. But this brings us to a sobering point. This delicate balance that we take for granted is easily disrupted. A slight change in temperature, a shift in atmospheric composition, and our little oasis could become as inhospitable as our celestial neighbors. So the next time you complain about the weather, remember, it could be a whole lot worse. You could be on Venus melting under a sky of acid rain. Alright, back to the death traps. Next up is Mars, the red planet. Mars has gotten a lot of attention as a potential second home for humanity, but it's still no walk in the park. The atmosphere is incredibly thin, mostly carbon dioxide. You'd need a spacesuit to breathe. Temperatures swing wildly from 70 degrees Fahrenheit to minus 200. You'd freeze without protection. And let's not forget about the low gravity. You'd weigh about a third of what you do on Earth. Sounds fun, right? But low gravity weakens bones and muscles. Mars is still a harsh and unforgiving environment. Now let's talk about the big guy, Jupiter. This gas giant is so massive that you could fit all the other planets in our solar system inside it with room to spare. But before you pack your bags for a Jupiter vacation, there are a few minor details we need to discuss. For one, Jupiter doesn't have a solid surface, it's just a swirling mass of gas, mostly hydrogen and helium, with winds that make a hurricane look like a gentle breeze. You'd be swept away in an instant, lost forever in Jupiter's turbulent atmosphere. And if the winds don't get you, the pressure will. As you descend deeper into Jupiter, the pressure increases exponentially, crushing you from all sides. Imagine the weight of hundreds of elephants pressing down on every square inch of your body. Yeah, not pretty. And just for good measure, Jupiter also has an incredibly strong magnetic field that traps charged particles from the sun, creating a radiation belt so intense that it would fry your electronics and give you a lethal dose of radiation in seconds. So, unless you're a fan of being crushed, irradiated, and lost in a gas giant forever, I'd recommend staying clear of Jupiter. Next we have Saturn, the ringed beauty of our solar system. Those rings might be mesmerizing, but don't let their elegance fool you. Saturn is just as deadly as its big brother Jupiter. It's a gas giant with no solid surface, composed mostly of hydrogen and helium. Wind speeds reach up to 1,100 miles per hour. That's faster than the speed of sound on Earth. You'd be tossed around like a rag doll in a hurricane. The deeper you go, the denser the gas becomes, crushing you with unimaginable force. Saturn's rings are made up of countless particles of ice and rock, constantly colliding, creating a deadly debris field. Imagine being caught in a hailstorm of rock and ice. Yeah, not a pretty picture. Now, let's head out to the outer solar system where we find Uranus, the ice giant tilted on its side. Uranus might not be as massive as Jupiter or Saturn, but it's still a formidable force to be reckoned with. For starters, Uranus is cold, really cold. With an average temperature of -357 degrees Fahrenheit, it's the coldest planet in our solar system. You'd freeze solid in an instant, your blood turning to ice in your veins. And, as if the cold wasn't bad enough, Uranus also has a toxic atmosphere composed mostly of hydrogen, helium, and methane. Methane, as you may know, is flammable, but you wouldn't have to worry about bursting into flames on Uranus because the lack of oxygen would suffocate you long before that could happen. But perhaps the most intriguing feature of Uranus is its extreme axial tilt. Unlike other planets, which spin like tops, Uranus is tilted on its side, rotating almost horizontally. This means that each pole experiences 42 years of continuous sunlight, followed by 42 years of darkness. Imagine living in perpetual twilight for decades. It would mess with your mind, man. Last but not least, we come to Neptune, the farthest planet from the sun. This blue giant is a world of extremes, with supersonic winds and frigid temperatures that make even Uranus look balmy. Let's talk about those winds for a second. Neptune boasts the fastest wind speeds in our solar system, clocking in at over 1,200 miles per hour. These winds are so powerful that they could rip a spacecraft apart, let alone a human being. You'd be swept away in an instant, your body battered and bruised by the supersonic gusts. And if the winds don't get you, the cold certainly will. With an average temperature of -371 degrees Fahrenheit, Neptune is one of the coldest places in our solar system. You'd freeze solid in the blink of an eye, your body preserved in a state of perpetual deep freeze. But the real kicker is Neptune's internal pressure. Deep beneath its thick atmosphere lies a super dense core, where the pressure is millions of times greater than Earth's. If you were somehow dropped into Neptune's atmosphere and managed to survive the winds and the cold, you'd eventually be crushed by the immense pressure, your body compressed into a tiny speck. Alright, I know what you're thinking. Neil, you forgot Pluto? Well, Pluto may not be a planet anymore, sorry Pluto, but it's still a fascinating and deadly world in its own right. Pluto is a dwarf planet located in the Kuiper Belt, a region of icy bodies beyond Neptune. It's a cold, dark, and lonely place with an average temperature of -387 degrees Fahrenheit. That's so cold that your breath would freeze solid the moment you exhaled. Pluto's atmosphere is also incredibly thin, composed mostly of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide. You wouldn't survive more than a few seconds without a spacesuit. And even if you did have a spacesuit, you'd still have to contend with Pluto's low gravity, which is about 6% of Earth's. You could jump incredibly high on Pluto, but you'd have to be careful not to launch yourself into space. But perhaps the most fascinating thing about Pluto is its surface. Images from NASA's New Horizons spacecraft revealed a surprisingly diverse landscape, with mountains, valleys, plains, and even glaciers made of nitrogen ice. Who knows what secrets this distant world holds? As we've seen, each planet in our solar system presents its own unique and deadly challenges. From the scorching heat of Venus to the crushing pressure of Jupiter, these planets are not for the faint of heart. While space exploration continues to push the boundaries of human knowledge, it's clear that our home planet Earth remains uniquely suited for life. So, let's appreciate our blue marble for the oasis it is, and continue to explore the cosmos, but maybe from a safe distance. Thanks for joining us on this chilling journey through the cosmos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more fascinating explorations of our universe.